Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Michael Breus, the Sleep Doctor. I'm on a mission to help people get the best sleep they can, and I love hearing from you. Every single week, I answer a few of your sleep-related questions, and boy, there are a lot. If you have a question that you'd like to see me answer, head on over to thesleepdoctor.com where you can send me an email. And while you're there, do me a favor, scroll down to the bottom of the website where you can subscribe to our weekly email that's packed with all of my best sleep tips. Okay, several folks wrote in asking about staying asleep throughout the night. This one is from Lynn, and she writes, how can I stay asleep through the night? I'm a term split sleeper frequently. I go to bed at 9, have no problem falling asleep, sleep drive is strong, but many nights I wake around 1 a.m., stay awake for around 2 hours, then go back to sleep around 3 or 4 a.m. for another 2 to 3 hours. I would really like to sleep through the night, ideally waking at 4 to 5 a.m. I'm comfortable with around 7 hours of sleep a night. I take magnesium glycinate, L-theanine, probiotic, and 5-HTP at bedtime. I have a good sleep routine before bed as well. I also exercise most mornings. Any ideas? Thanks and appreciate your advice. Great question, and certainly one that I hear more often than you might imagine. First off, it sounds like you might be going to bed a little bit too early. This is actually quite common for a lot of people, but one of the things I like to do is push sleep backwards. When people have a large gap of sleep in the middle of the night, when you'd come to my clinic, we would use something called sleep restriction therapy. This is not something that you would want to necessarily do on your own, but here are kind of what we do if we were going to be doing something. I might push your bedtime back from 9 to say 11 o'clock at night. Then you'd be really tired. You'd still want to wake up at a pretty early bedtime, so I'd say lower level limit, maybe 6 hours of sleep. Then make yourself available throughout the day, staying awake with no naps, and then going to bed at 11 again. What this does is it tries to consolidate the sleep that you're getting into one large block. What you're experiencing is something that we call biphasic sleep. Way back in the day, this is actually pretty common. People would go to bed early, wake up in the middle of the night, maybe have a meal, talk to some of the family members, then go back to sleep, and then wake up in the morning time. What we've discovered over the course of time is that by consolidating sleep into one basic unit, you actually have deeper sleep, higher quality sleep, and you feel more rested in the mornings. If you don't want to do sleep restriction by yourself, which by the way, I don't recommend doing, you may want to seek out the help of a sleep specialist near you. All right, question number 2. Austin asks, I'm having difficulty falling and staying asleep during the nighttime. I don't feel sleepy, so I always try to force myself by lying on the bed pretending to sleep. So the process of doing that, sometimes I get to sleep, then immediately I'll just shake and wake. I also have this restless leg syndrome. My legs are always shaking on their own. Sounds like you've got quite a few things going on. To be fair, lying in bed pretending you're asleep actually is something that we call non-sleep deep rest. It turns out that it's kind of rejuvenative. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like sleep. I'd say about an hour of that might be worth about 15 to 20 minutes of sleep, so you're certainly not doing yourself any harm. But by going to bed maybe a little bit later, it could actually help you fall asleep a little bit more quickly and make your sleep schedule a little bit more regular. Now, the shaking and what you're calling restless leg syndrome, that's something that you probably need to have a doctor take a look at. In our clinic, one of the things that we might look at is something called ferritin. It's a type of iron, and we know that people who are low in iron may in fact have this creepy crawly feeling on their legs or have to shake their legs in order to fall asleep at night. Sometimes a simple iron supplement can be quite helpful in these situations. But if that doesn't work, then you probably need to see a sleep specialist because restless leg syndrome in and of itself is a disorder, and we kind of know how to treat it. Question number 3. Dawn writes, what suggestions do you have to stay asleep throughout the night, especially if you're awoken by pain, burning sensation under the skin? Okay, pain is a tough one. When people wake in the middle of the night because of pain, this is a very different type of situation for most people. First thing that I would look at is, are you being seen by a pain specialist? And if so, what time are your medications, if you happen to be on any, could they potentially be wearing off? In many cases, adjusting the timing of the dose, this is not to be done by you, but to be done by your doctor, can oftentimes help people make it better through the night. Another thing is, what kind of bed are you sleeping in? Is it something that maybe could be provoking your pain at night? You might want to look at maybe looking at a topper, which give you a little bit more cushion to be able to not have that skin be touching so much and have pressure on your skin. Thanks so much to all of you for your questions. Remember, if you have a question you'd like to see answered, visit thesleepdoctor.com/sleep-questions. Also, be sure to subscribe to my weekly newsletter, as well as my YouTube channel, where I'll be giving you the most current and relevant answers to your burning sleep questions. This is Dr. Michael Breus, the Sleep Doctor, wishing you sweet dreams.